No, I haven't updated my app.
As an interest, yeah. I think that's
So there's some drinks up there if you want to grab a drink, or we're going to kick off in about 10 minutes officially. Yeah, no, actually. Today, been pretty worn out.
Oh no, we weren't.
This is a live chat, so I think we can kick off like around the maybe even post an hour. If you have questions for the Q&A session, please post them anonymously. And then if they come up, just as we think of the Q&A, so just say it's again, oh, this question came in from the live chat.
Yeah.
We'll default now. Default oh yeah, true.
Maybe we can just start with
Whatever says. Can you give me a live stream?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Yeah, but
I think that's.
Yeah.
we have some real Oh, I heard about that. This is kind of
We're giving it at the same time. I think she's out there. We then have a second meeting
That works.
Oh, that's the whole.
Yeah.
He was one of my best friends.
Oh, I know which one.
Yeah, he just oh,
Okay. Somewhere around this. I'm not sure if it's Colin's cousin or Colin's cousin. One of them. She relates. Yeah.
Way too bright.
No, not yet. It was almost over. So it's going. So you're lucky. Somebody will be listening.
All right, thanks everyone for coming down. Yeah, if you haven't had a drink, there's some drinks over there. In case we need to evacuate, there's an emergency exit around here through that door, or if that's blocked, we can exit through the fire stairs. Again, thanks everyone for coming down. My name's Chris, and I'm the industry leader at Unearthed, which is quite a fun job. I get to run around and chat to mining companies and resource companies about their problems, which initially they don't really want to talk about, but then ultimately they normally open up because we do have a big draw of such a big community of innovators, and sort of through our hackathons and online competitions, we've made quite a name for us in the industry. And many of you, if you had a look at the website, you would have seen that opportunity that we're talking about. That's from a McKinsey report that came out a couple of years ago. And they estimate that in the resources sector, there's the value of digital disruption in the next 10 years is roughly $1 trillion. There's been another presentation on this recently that alone in the mining industry, that space is around, they estimated it was 425 billion in the next 10 years. So resources includes, that study included oil and gas as well. And when we look at the sort of the progression of the digital disruption in a few different industries, and I hope you can see that. But oil and gas is decently advanced in the overall digitalization. And then we've got two other big sectors that we're covering is mining and construction, where we're still fairly early stage across the industry. There's some leading companies who've sort of taken on that sort of leadership in the innovation space. But overall, these are two industries that are lagging behind. And that is really where a lot of opportunity for us lies, in sort of in being the digital natives, being the drivers for that change. And that's where Unearthed comes in. Basically, what we do across different programs, we run the hackathons. Is probably the most prominent one that a lot of you have heard about. We've now run, I think, 18 events actually around the world. We've run online competitions, and we're just about to add a new program, which is a digital tribes program to the repertoire. And basically, how all of these programs work is we go out to industry, we connect with them, we really dig into their sort of problems across the business, which problems are suitable to be opened up to the outside, and then we host them in a public forum where, in the case of hackathons, these are hosted locally, we involve the local community, and in case of the online communities, we basically prepare a challenge over an extended period of time and host them online. And then anywhere around the world can contribute to the solution. A quick summary is like, and these events they've been fantastic, and everyone that comes along, who has been at an Unearthed event or a hackathon? So most of you have been, would know that they're good fun, they're intense most of the time, they run for the whole weekend. Some people are quite happy when they're over, but even happier to be there, I hope so. So far, as I said, we've had 80 different events. Across those events, we've had over 50 challenges. We've had over 170 prototype solutions that if you want to, you can check out the portal of portal.unearthed.solutions. They're all up there. The teams are up there. And yeah, right now the network of people that have been at the events is over 2,000 people, which is, I think, quite impressive. And that's around the world. We've had events in Toronto, San Francisco, Cape Town internationally. That was sort of the last few years, and the program for this year is sort of even bigger in terms of international coverage, and all of the major cities of Australia. This is this year's hackathon program. So we're about halfway through the calendar with the events for another Santiago. Actually, that Santiago hasn't happened yet. Brisbane and Perth, and then quite another big range of events around the world. So what's Digital Tribes? Digital Tribes is something a little bit different to hackathons and online competitions. It's kind of sort of formed a bit of a combination where it's hosted locally here in Perth, but it's also open to anyone to join. So it's a 2-week event that you can over the weekends and during the week join here live. But you can also, we've got the web stream up, so we've got people tuning in from all over the world. You can join online as well. So we've got different communication channels throughout the 2 weeks. So we use Slack, we use some video conferencing that you can sign up. So that's going to be pretty exciting. And across those two weeks, you get the chance to work on real problems that a PhD to some extent I've looked into previously. And we'll give an introduction to the 2 challenges in detail in a second. Over 2 weeks, you'll have access to mentors from the BHP Digital Tribes hardware team. And again, that access to mentors will happen live here at Core. So if you come down either on the weekends where this space will be open, or if you want to tune in via video stream, you basically book out a mentor for 20-minute slots with your team through the week, and they'll show you your schedule there as well in a second, or you come down. Similar to the hackathons, you do work in teams. The slight difference there is that usually in a hackathon, a lot of the teams come pre-formed. Given that this will involve a sort of an application process, because we only have 50 slots for the event, so 100% this will fill out. We have to go through an application process, and then the teams that won't be pre-formed. So we basically will select teams and basically pre-form those teams with sort of to get a good spread of skills across them. And ultimately, the big prize will be that those, the top innovators across those 2 weeks, they'll get an opportunity to join the BHP Digital Tribes hardware team. And I've had the chance for the last 2 weeks to work up there from the office a bit. It's really good crew, so it's a pretty exciting opportunity. A bit more on sort of how that assessment, what makes you a top innovator across the event. We'll explore that in a bit after the challenge introduction. And then sort of ultimately those 2 weeks will culminate in presentations to a judging panel, which is only one part of the assessment that will be done over the 2 weeks. And there will be tech prizes for the best hardware solutions available as well. So that's pretty exciting. We'll have an expert judging panel down for to assess what you've built over the 2 weeks. So where is it? Again, you're here, so you know where it's going to be. But for those tuning in online, there's a chance to come down here at Core, which is the Resource Innovation Hub in Perth. And so work live during the week during weekdays, it's going to be 1 hour, and for the weekends, it's going to be all weekend long, where you can come down and work from here. Or you can join in online, and those who make it through the application process will send out invites with all the detailed information of how to sign up, how to tune in over the 2 weeks. There's a couple of key dates. First and most important, right now the applications are open. So if you haven't applied, go on the website, jump to Digital Trust. It's a very quick, it's a 10-minute application process where we'll ask for some of your profiles, GitHub, Stack Overflow, bit of your story, like are you part of an open source community, for example? Are there any other communities you're involved in? Are there any projects you've built in the past? So you can link up all that experience, and then that will give us a good overview of sort of your profile. Another important date will be the 18th of June. That's the Sunday this week. The applications will close, so make sure before midnight on Sunday, Perth time, you have submitted your applications. And then 2 days after that, on the Tuesday, 20th of June, we'll send out confirmation emails, basically letting you know if you've made it into the candidate panel or not. Then to the main event, we're kicking off on the 30th of June, 5 p.m. again down here. There will be a bit of an info session or a kickoff session, and then we hand out some of the additional data and information around the challenges, and then you basically jump in with your team, or you jump in your Slack channel if you tune in online, and straight away from the Friday evening, 5 to 6 p.m. roughly when we kick off, there'll be mentors here, so you can hammer them with questions around what existing technology, how do mindsets operate. You can potentially ask them for more information if that's not provided. So really make good use of those mentors that are here over the 2 weeks. They are your main source of information. They have more and better information than you'll ever find on Google or anywhere on the internet. Just before we finish off then, in the 2 weeks, we have a pitch coaching session. So if you've got a presentation ready for your prototype, you can present to us. So that's just the sort of the Unearthed people. We'll give you honest feedback on how to improve that presentation, and then potentially a video as well that you can present. So you can, in a very comfortable environment, can go through that for the initial round. And then after we finish, pitching will be on the 14th of July, so just 2 weeks after we open up. There will be an award for the tech prizes. The main prize, which is announcing who will be able to join the PHP team, that will take a little bit longer. So we'll announce that in the following weeks after the event. And again, this is some of the photos from PHP that are currently being built out a lab up there. I had the chance to work up there as well. Some good photos. The view is pretty awesome. So it's pretty exciting to work from up there. And that's photos of the lab that's currently being built. All right, so now to some of the most important bits, the 2 challenges. And we'll get Yaron and Angus come up. Who's starting off? The first one? Angus is starting up. Cool. Oh, you will.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. My name is Angus Jones. I'm part of PHP's digital tribes, in particular the hardware tribe. We sort of categorize ourselves into archetypes: hardware, software, data, user experience. And I'm here to tell you something that I'm pretty excited about, and that's the 2 challenges we have on offer for the hardware challenge here with Unearthed. On the right, you might see some components up here. That's what we're all about. This is nitty-gritty stuff. a lot of words out there: IoT, edge device, industrial computers. What does it mean? It's about fundamentally taking bits of equipment that would have never been online or digital and kitting them out and enabling them for next generation decision making. If you own or have any of these stored away in a drawer somewhere at your home, chances are we're looking for people like you. In particular, the challenge I'd like to talk to you today is about operational awareness. You can see here, operating big and heavy machinery is pretty hard. It takes years of honing that operational experience until you really know how to control it and get the best out of your equipment. Who here has been to a mine site before or seen one on Google Images? A few hands, that's good. This is sort of what it looks like here. So large open pit environment. And although it looks sort of simple, a big hole in the ground, it's actually an intricate layer of plan upon plan that a mining engineer has thought through and executed with the hand of multiple teams working together to extract the resources in a controlled and measured way. To achieve this, you need some different heavy machine types. I put some here on the slide. Starting from the top, we have a large grader. In the middle there, we've got a track dozer. And down the bottom, we have a wheeled loader. This is some of the primary equipment that you will see on most open pit mine sites around the world. Herein lies the challenge. How do we measure and enable these heavy machines to be online and record data for us, BHP, to then make decisions on in the future? I'm not going to lie, there's some solutions out there, and they're okay. Traditionally, being BHP, we're great at engineering things, so we can always solve a problem. But maybe some of the skills we require to solve tomorrow's problems are a little bit harder, and that's why we need to innovate. I'll show you guys an example of something that you could find in the market for solving a traditional problem, such as dozing a road. As you can see, it's quite loud. What this machine is doing, apart from the obvious, which is moving dirt, it's using these two sensors on the top, these GPS receivers, to send beacons off to satellites in the air and ask the question, where am I relative to my machine? It's pretty intricate, and you can see there's a whole heap of problems with this structure. It's prone to wear, fatigue. We're not dealing in the most friendly environments here. And although we can design an elegant solution, that may not stand the test of time. What we want to do is one better, and what I'd invite everyone here is to start thinking about how do we start getting smarter for measuring these sorts of equipment types. Think about versatility and reliability of the equipment. Obviously, a large, bulky GPS solution may not be as creative as maybe, I don't know, nodes in a modeling software. All of these parameters of the equipment are known, so it lends itself huge for sort of simulation practices that have so far not been encountered in the mining industry. We've got to remember that whatever we choose to use as a hardware solution needs to be rugged. It needs to stand up against use in hazardous areas. Online and offline modes of operation. Although we want to provide 100% reliability for our pieces of equipment in terms of telemetry and wireless networks, it's not very realistic. So we need to think about better ways to store data locally, cache it, and then move it forward later on. System health and exception handling. Hours of downtime on this type of equipment can result in huge monetary impacts for BHP. We need to be careful to minimize our downtime on equipment. middleware integration. That's opening up our solutions to our many systems that we have at BHP, so we can get the most out of our technology investments. Accuracy and calibrated thresholds. We're talking about pretty precision mining techniques here. We want to know in fair amounts of accuracy and reliability what our equipment is actually doing. And last, a visual and display loop, so we can provide back information to our operators who are out there using the machines, let them know they're doing a good job, or maybe some areas that they can improve. I'll pass over to Garen to talk about our next challenge.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Garen King, one of the other Hardware Tribe members. I'm not even going to try and compete with Angus in his presentation. So here to talk about distributed safety devices. So as you know, mining industry, there's a lot of safety involved. We currently use a lot of hard barriers. We want to look at how we can digitize them. How can we bring them into the digital world? Yeah, traditional industry standard safety systems rely on physical methods, zones, and barriers. Can we digitally enhance these safety controls? How can they operate in a fail-safe manner, regularly monitoring and self-testing? How can this operate when there's no network in place? Solution considerations are hardware technology, versatility and reliability, fail-safe operation, offline and online, as Angus spoke about. Middleware integration, so how do we open them up? How do we allow them to integrate with all our other systems? How do we use open protocols? Yeah, that's about all I've got.
Awesome, thanks. So there's some additional challenge descriptions that we'll put up online tomorrow morning or tonight. So check back on Digital Tribes on the website. There's going to be a bigger statement with some introduction around it to give you a better idea of what the challenge is about. So thanks a lot, Angus and Joran, for the introductions. We'll do it very quick. If you've got any questions around the challenge, so feel free to ask them now. Yeah.
On the first one, that's strictly civil. It's not the ore and waste excavation. It's road building.
Yeah, that's right. So civil is an underplayed element of mining open environment. So we invest heavily in civil equipment as well as traditional mining, extraction, load and haul. So maybe these solutions have been downplayed in the past, which opens a huge gap for you guys to innovate and create solutions for.
Anything else? Also, to those tuning in online, if you're on YouTube or Zoom, you can write in the comment section if you've got any questions there. Feel free to post that now, and then it might take a while to come through, but we can always open that up in the second Q&A session after the presentation. So also, yeah, if you think of a question, feel free to write it down and pop it up later in a bit.
Yeah, I'd like to budget a little bit on get up some sort of estimation of how much is the cost to implement. Then like a budget becomes really.
That's a question we probably need to put to BHP. Ultimately, if you start thinking about a business case, then therefore we can help you a little bit. You know, if there is a business case behind it and it makes sense to implement, there's financial gain, then I guess then it evaluates itself. Ultimately, for sort of the budget you have during the event to build something. That's a little bit different. That's basically we'll give you the Raspberry Pis, and I'll talk about that in a second, and some additional budget for hardware.
Yeah. I know you guys are giving us Raspberry Pis in the budget. We have to use Raspberry Pis, or we use other hardware.
No, you can use different technology as well. Yeah. If that's it, yeah. We have about a total of 50 people. So the teams will have roughly 5 people.
So not pre-form teams?
No, due to the fact that it's an application process and we might pre-form a team, not everyone might get through. And also we want to we want to get a bit of a spread of skills across the teams. So we will form those teams. Okay. If any further questions, then you can ask at the end as well. So coming back to the application process, it's a very quick one. So I've just taken a screenshot. There's a couple of questions we asked. It shouldn't take any longer than 10 minutes. So there's a couple of profiles you can fill in. We'll give you space for additional links if you want to upload. And then I think it's about 10 steps, so it should be fairly quickly. So what matters? Ultimately, compared to a standard hackathon where the focus is really on your prototype solution at the end of the weekend, this is slightly different, where there's multiple components, because ultimately the main prize for the outcome of those 2 weeks isn't presenting your prototype, just presenting your prototype solution. There's like, how do you fit in the sort of a PHP culture? How do you work within a team? The hardware pitch has a component in it, but it's not like a hackathon where it's the sole component, the solution that you provide. And we'll see, those that make it through, that you'll see that there's some processes built in to sort of do a couple of different assessments. So don't, I think that's quite an important bit that we make it clear, that the hardware solution or the prototype that you're building is not the sole part of that assessment, sort of the process. Again, here, so that's the hardware, the Raspberry Pi Zero. Right? As I said, those that attend live here, we'll buy that and then we'll distribute that. So during the application process, you'll get a question: do you want to join live or do you want to join it remotely? Those who join sort of via remote links, we'll basically send out $100 for every participant. With those $100, you can spend that on the Raspberry Pi, and then you should have roughly $60 left to buy additional hardware. So there might be some sensors, and you can spend that as you like. You can spend it on candy if you want to over the 2 weeks, which I'd recommend not to do. So this is an indication of the schedule over the 2 weeks. So again, this will be hosted live. I'll give you a quick rundown. So we'll have the opening night on the Friday, and then on the Saturday and Sunday, with core is open for you to work from here from 9 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the evening. Those joining in remotely, they'll be able to book sessions with the mentors during those times. We'll share a link for a scheduling website that you can book time. And then every day during the week, we'll have purely remote mentoring sessions in the morning, so core won't be open then. So those joining remotely can book in 8 o'clock sessions in the morning. So we want to time it like that, so people who might be working full-time or full-time students can pick a time slot. Also those that might be tuning in from different time zones, who can't normally join at the evening sessions, for example, if you work in South America, or anywhere in America, for example, that might not work, so then their time slots should work. If it really doesn't work for you, just reach out to us and we can probably arrange something with like a session with the mentors visually. And then as we get through the first week, on the weekend, the core will be open again for you to join in here, or again, we'll have access to the mentors. Second week is fairly similar to the first week, where we've got remote mentoring sessions in the morning. We've got mentoring sessions in live and remotely here at core. And then on the Tuesday and Wednesday of the second week, we'll do sort of profiling sessions where there's some one-on-one interviews with the mentors and the individual team members, and some sessions around the team dynamics, sort of to cover those aspects that I talked about in the other slide. And then on the Friday night, on the 14th, we'll have the presentations, and the day before those pitch coaching sessions. Again, we can arrange those either live, which is very easy for you to come in and then you just pitch to us and we'll give some feedback, or again remotely. And those joining in remotely will, rather than having a live pitch, will be easier to just send a 5 to 7 minute submission video. And then just quickly, we'll have a pretty good judging panel for it's quite impressive that PHP's shown that commitment as well to We'll have Jake is here tonight as a judge, Kirsten Rose, looking the low emissions technology team. Ed Berg, general manager of Whaleback. That's Eastern Ridge. Okay. So he would flying down, and then we've got Matt from AWS, so with an outside technology judge as well. So that's a pretty impressive judging panel, and I'm really looking forward to not just the judging panel, but also to this solution. All right, that's it around the event. Are there any questions sort of for the running of the event? What's involved? If you've got any, just bring them up. AWS is a sort of an annual sponsor of Unearthed. They enable some of the technology that we use, but not specifically for this event. Yep. No, judges and mentors will be very, very different. So we don't really want to have that overlay that because all the mentors that you'll see that they get really involved in years of research, and we want to separate a bit. So yeah, Angus, Aaron will be mentoring, and probably another 5 to 10 mentors over the 2 weeks. Any other questions? So if you think of something, then you can always email us on info@unearthed.solutions if you've got any questions. Yeah.
The team comprised virtual and physical participants, for example.
So yes, so we will try. Let's say we've got three people tuning in from Brisbane, for example. We'll try to that these people form a team, because it's just going to be easier to collaborate. Or also we'll try not to have 3 members here and then 2 members in South America, just to make that easier. All right. Yeah.
It just got changed too.
Yep.
Any more details got changed too? Challenger will know maybe about the hardware part of it, but how about challenge too?
Yeah, is there anything specific you're after?
So just general details, like are you guys looking for better network or how to
No, so it's more around safety systems, so positional awareness within our machinery, our personnel, and our safety systems. So can we attach something to a cone or a barrier to create a digital barrier, so when someone walks in there, they're alerted of that, or a machine drives past it, it's alert. Yeah, it's all around positional awareness.
The way I understood it was also to kind of trying to create geofences basically around a portable device potentially. Creating the solution a bit better. No, that was a really interesting challenge. Both of them.
Can you give us some background on what it is you can say?
Sorry, say that again.
What is unionization devices?
So we have, we have our cones and our barriers and everything else at the moment. What we want to know is whether we can attach something to those physical barriers to create a digital footprint. So say a person walks into an area where there's someone working above, they're alerted of that. Say a person's walking behind a truck, the truck is alerted to someone there. Like the example you used, a portable device that we can put somewhere to create a geofence barrier.
All, I guess, under the constraint of not having 100% reliable on a network, so they might have to work ad hoc as a network, for example. Any other questions? Cool. So now really the next step is for you to send your application in, and then within a couple of days we should get back to you. And any other questions, feel free to reach out. We'll always cover that in the via email. And then if we see that a question comes up a fair bit, we'll post those through the FAQ section on the website. So if you scroll all the way down, you'll see there's a few questions on there already. So that might grow over the coming weeks as well. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks a lot, everyone, for coming around. Feel free to hang around a bit, chat to the mentors. There's some drinks over there.
Look at this guy. Arrived in late.
Yeah, they'll play online.
I'm just hanging out.